Sorry, another foundering car. So a new video. I just dropped off a friend of mine who has just received his driving license. In the Netherlands you can now drive when you're 17 years old, but until you turn 18 you still need to have someone with you that has at least 5 years driving license and is on your card. So in the card you can have up to 5 people, and I'm one of those 5 people. So it's always good to get the new generation enthusiastic about driving, of course. And that's also a nice thing to see, because many of the new generation, they are not interested in driving anymore. They see a car as something you can own. Ferraris, Lamborghinis and all the other stuff is not that interesting to them anymore. But that's also a reason. And why is that? Because there's very limited parking room. So a lot of cars you cannot even park. And also cars have become increasingly expensive. Not only that you have to pay for parking, also parking is more expensive. Then you have all the taxes are more expensive. Insurance is more expensive than in the heydays. Also maintenance, and then you have the amount of gasoline that they guzzle. So you might argue that modern cars are a lot more frugal, and you would be right. But the thing is, the gasoline prices have increased a lot more than the frugality. So the miles per gallon has increased. So that you could do it the other way around, that you need less gasoline for the same amount of kilometers or miles. So that's the thing. And the other thing is that if you're not needing a car, or a car is made so expensive, also perhaps your parents don't drive a car, or they only see it as a transportation means to travel from A to B, instead of really enjoying it. A lot of the enthusiasts that are now arising in the car world have been prompted by racing simulators. So for example, Gran Turismo is a big example, that if people then feel the passion of cars and what you can do with it, those people often also are willing to spend more money to also get access to a nice car. And oftentimes then I would recommend a hot hatch, but always I will think about a hot hatch. And why is that? Because a hot hatch is still semi-achievable, not that expensive compared to real sports cars. And you have all the benefits of a normal car, being that you have a car that's practical, can seat up to 5 people, has oftentimes 5 doors, and you can also move and transport bigger items with the hot hatch that you could do with a coupe or otherwise sports cars. So in that case I would always think in my mind about a sports car. However, why wouldn't I recommend it all the time? Because sometimes enthusiasts want a convertible type of car, and then a Mazda MX-5, or you might know it as Miata or Honda's Roadstar, is perhaps a better choice. Or sometimes they really want coupe looks, and they are an enthusiast, but not so much for performance and practicality, but they want a car that they can also look at and see as pure art. And of course a coupe looks better than a hot hatch. But the hot hatch is a sweet spot between practicality at one side, performance at the other, and still you have a car that is achievable. And the other thing is, a real sports car has so much more performance than a hot hatch normally, yes, but you cannot exploit it in the real world. The hot hatch you can still enjoy, especially if you buy a lightweight hot hatch. So you optimize not so much the amount of horsepower, but the power to weight. So you want a car that is as light as possible, and then you look at the horsepower. That's the better way. So then you have a car that's easy to live with, still expensive compared to a cheapo car, but achievable, and can do it all. Can have a performance run, but can also do the grocery run or take your children from school or bring them to school or to your friends. Also, if you have 5 seats, you can take your wife and two or three children with you with ease. That's harder in a coupe. A coupe is normally a 2+2 or even a 2-seater. And a convertible is normally a 2-seater. I had an Abarth that could seat up to 4 people, even adult people, but that's not a normal type of convertible. Oftentimes a convertible is just a 2-seater, like a Mazda MX-5 or a BMW Z3. But there are some niches that you still have 2+2, which is great, of course. Coupe, if you think about the 911 or an Audi S5, those are cars that are still quite practical, albeit being a coupe type of car. Hope this little video helps, and I salute the new generation. Hope you enjoy your car. I do, and I wish the same to you.